Welcome back to Hidden Bizarre History. Today, we're diving into a fascinating yet bizarre chapter of history involving none other than King Henry VIII of England. Known for his 6 marriages, ruthless politics, and extravagant lifestyle, Henry VIII also had a peculiar detail that often flies under the radar. His 4 servants dedicated to an extraordinary task. Yes, you heard that right. Servants whose primary job was to wipe the king's ass after he used the bathroom. Stick around as we uncover the strange and often overlooked aspects of life in the Tudor court. From the daily routines of Henry VIII to the bizarre hierarchy of his servants, this episode promises to be both enlightening and entertaining. King Henry VIII reigned from 1509 to 1547, making significant impacts on religion, governance, and culture. He is often remembered for his role in the English Reformation and his infamous marriages. But behind the scenes, his court was a place of incredible complexity. To understand why Henry needed such specialized servants, we first need to delve into the context of the time. Hygiene standards in the 16th century were vastly different from what we consider normal today. Most people had limited access to proper sanitation, and royal toilets were often quite rudimentary. In Tudor England, the concept of a toilet was quite different. Wealthy individuals had access to privies, essentially wooden seats over a pit. For the king, however, the toilet was a bit more sophisticated. He had a chamber pot that was often located in a separate room, known as a garderobe. But here's the kicker. There were no modern-day conveniences like toilet paper. Instead, Henry VIII relied on a group of attendants who fulfilled this unique role. This was no small task. The process involved considerable protocol. Henry VIII had 4 primary servants assigned to the task of wiping him after he used the toilet. These men were known as grooms of the stool. Their duties extended beyond mere hygiene. They held significant positions in the royal household. These servants were chosen for their loyalty and trustworthiness, as they were in such close contact with the king. Their positions were seen as prestigious, despite the seemingly humiliating nature of their work. The most notable of these grooms was Sir Anthony Denny, who served as the chief groom of the stool. His influence extended far beyond his unconventional role. He was a confidant of the king and had a say in matters of state. In fact, the grooms often wielded considerable power. They were responsible for managing the king's health, and because they were privy to his most private moments, they often gained the king's trust and favor. Imagine being the person who has the king's ear, all while performing such an intimate task. The court of Henry VIII was rife with intrigue, and the grooms of the stool were at the center of it all. Their duties included not just hygiene, but also fetching the king's clothes, attending to his needs, and ensuring his comfort. These men navigated a complex web of court politics. Their close relationship with the king meant they could influence who gained favor in the court, essentially acting as gatekeepers to the king himself. While it may seem absurd today, the role of the grooms of the stool was respected in the context of the time. Many believed that attending to the king in such a personal manner was a significant honor. Yet, it was also a double-edged sword. These servants faced potential ridicule and disdain from the lower classes, who might see their duties as degrading. This duality made their position complex and often precarious. So what did a typical day look like for these grooms? Mornings began with attending to the king's needs, ensuring he was properly dressed and prepared for the day. After breakfast, the grooms would follow him around the court, ready to assist at a moment's notice. And let's not forget the unpredictable nature of royal life. If the king needed to use the garderobe, these grooms were right there, prepared for the task at hand, regardless of who was watching. The legacy of the grooms of the stool is surprisingly impactful. Their unique position highlights the complexities of royal service and the often hidden aspects of court life. It reminds us that even the most powerful figures have mundane needs that require attention. Their story reflects a broader theme in history, the juxtaposition of power and vulnerability. In a world obsessed with appearances, these grooms represented the unglamorous reality behind the throne. So there you have it, the bizarre yet fascinating role of King Henry VIII's bathroom attendants. This story serves as a reminder that history is often stranger than fiction, revealing the hidden layers of our past. If you enjoyed this dive into the peculiarities of history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. What other bizarre historical figures or events would you like us to explore next? Let us know in the comments below.